The Denver Broncos find themselves in a high-stakes situation as Week 18 rolls around. With a win-and-in scenario for the playoffs, everything is on the line. On the other side, the Kansas City Chiefs, already locked into the AFC's top seed, will likely rest many of their key players. But that doesn't mean the Chiefs will make it easy. Some of their younger players and backups will aim to spoil the Broncos' playoff hopes. This Week 18 matchup has plenty to unpack, and we're breaking it all down in this video. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. For the Broncos, this is a must-win game. Everything hinges on this moment. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, there's little at stake. Patrick Mahomes is so secure in his position that he might even have time to witness the birth of his child during Week 18. While the Broncos are under pressure, the Chiefs are in the enviable position of having nothing to lose. For Denver, this season has already been a step forward. With 9 wins, they've matched their best record since their Super Bowl 50 victory in 2015. That said, the pressure is immense. Fans are understandably nervous, wondering if the team can capitalize on this moment or if it will slip through their fingers. As we head into this crucial Week 18 matchup, the Broncos are dealing with immense pressure. They're expected to win 95% of the time. This game shouldn't even be close, considering who the Chiefs are likely to rest. But as we all know, football isn't just about who's on the field. It's about execution, composure, and handling the moment. For Denver, with so much on the line, the stakes might change how they approach the game. They can't afford to take anything for granted. Now, let's be clear, Denver should win this game. Based on everything we've discussed and what we'll break down further, they're in a prime position to secure the victory. But win or lose, this game serves an important purpose for the Broncos. They need this kind of pressure-filled environment. These are the moments that prepare teams for playoff football. Regular season games don't have the same intensity as win-and-in scenarios where every snap feels magnified. The speed of the game, the decision-making, and the weight of the stakes are all elevated in these situations. Another key question is how the Chiefs will manage their offensive and defensive lines. Offensive linemen in particular often prefer to stay in rhythm and play, even in games like this. Will veterans like Creed Humphrey, Joe Thuney, and Trey Smith take the field? Or will we see younger players like Ethan Driscoll get more reps? On defense, young talents like Christian Roland Wallace and Jaden Hicks are worth keeping an eye on. Roland Wallace has been impressive in his recent snaps at cornerback, and this game gives him a chance to go up against Denver's starters. Hicks, meanwhile, has shown promise at safety and should get plenty of opportunities to prove himself. For the Broncos, their defense has been under scrutiny lately, struggling over the past 4 games to find its identity. This matchup gives them a chance to bounce back and build momentum heading into the playoffs, if they get there. Denver's 3rd youngest roster in the NFL means that even their starters are still growing and developing. Regardless of the outcome, this game will be a valuable experience for them, testing their ability to handle pressure and execute under playoff-like conditions. After back-to-back losses, they need to prove they can bounce back, just like they've done throughout the season. Denver's ability to recover from adversity has been on display before. After a crushing loss to Kansas City earlier in the year, they responded with 4 straight wins. That mental toughness is something they'll need to tap into again, especially since they'll be facing a Chiefs team filled with younger, lesser-known players who will be eager to make their mark. It's worth noting how that earlier loss to Kansas City shifted the entire trajectory of the season. If Denver had pulled off the win, the Chiefs wouldn't have the luxury of resting their starters now. Instead, Kansas City would be fighting to maintain the top seed in the AFC, and this game would look very different. But that's how football works. Every game matters, and those pivotal moments can define a season. Returning to Denver's defense, the past 4 weeks have been rough. Whether it's busted coverages or simply being outmatched, they haven't looked like themselves. Last week's game against Cincinnati highlighted their struggles, as the Bengals' elite passing attack exposed weaknesses. Against the Chiefs, Denver's defense must tighten up and avoid costly mistakes. This is an opportunity to prove they can regain their form heading into the postseason. On offense, the focus for Denver will be on limiting errors and sustaining drives. Third downs have been a major issue, with far more misses than conversions. If they can find consistency in extending possessions, it will not only help the defense rest, but also increase their chances of controlling the game. Against a Kansas City team fielding backups and young players, execution will be critical. When it comes to the Denver Broncos' struggles on 3rd down, it's not surprising. They've had issues running the ball effectively, and with a rookie quarterback under center, those challenges get amplified. But stepping back, this game is about more than just winning or losing. Denver needs this experience, a playoff-level atmosphere, to grow as a team. For many of their players, especially the younger ones, this will be their first taste of high-stakes football, and it's an invaluable opportunity to learn and adapt. Regardless of the outcome, this game is a win for Denver in terms of building toward the future. Whether or not they make the playoffs, the experience gained here will be crucial in understanding what it takes to compete at the next level. Many of these players haven't been in games of this magnitude, For guys like Cortland Sutton and Garrett Bowles, who've been with the team since 2017 and 2018 respectively, this kind of environment is entirely new. Then there's a mix of veterans like Mike McGlinchey and Ben Powers, who bring experience from playoff caliber teams. Combining these perspectives should create an interesting dynamic as the team prepares for what's ahead. Denver's recent history in critical games hasn't been kind. Last season, they faced must-win scenarios against Houston and New England, but fell short. From going 0 for 13 on third downs to throwing costly interceptions, those games highlighted the team's struggles under pressure. Even this season, back-to-back collapses against the Chargers and Bengals have raised questions about their ability to close out games. Blowing an 11-point second-half lead to Los Angeles and failing to convert in overtime against Cincinnati were hard lessons. Those moments will test their mental toughness heading into this game. On the Kansas City side, they're playing with house money. Their young players have an open field to prove themselves, which makes them unpredictable. For Denver, this creates a challenge. They don't have film on many of these players, making preparation tricky. Kansas City will likely keep their schemes simple, focusing on evaluation rather than complexity. Denver, on the other hand, must balance playing to win with not showing too much of their strategy, especially if they advance to the playoffs. This dynamic, Denver fighting for survival and Kansas City experimenting, makes for an intriguing matchup. Denver's ability to adjust on the fly will be critical. They'll need to be ready for anything, whether it's a surprise performance from an unknown Chiefs player or unexpected defensive alignments. It's a true test of adaptability under pressure. Looking at the bigger picture, this game also carries implications for the AFC West. Having three teams, the Chiefs, Chargers, and potentially the Broncos, in the playoffs would be a strong showing for the division. A few years ago, the AFC West was hyped as the most competitive division in football, with stars like Russell Wilson and Derek Carr joining the fold. While some of that initial buzz has faded, the division has proven its strength with three teams boasting winning records this season. Turnovers, as always, will play a massive role. Whether it's a rookie misjudging a play or a young defender capitalizing on an opportunity, turnovers can shift the momentum entirely. A few mistakes by Denver, and Kansas City could find themselves in a position to steal this game. As we know in the NFL, any team can win on any given Sunday, and backups are no exception. These players are professionals too, eager to make an impression. From the Broncos' perspective, this game is all about execution. I have identified three keys to victory for Denver against the City Chiefs. The first one is force turnover. Don't just avoid giving the ball away. Actively create opportunities for your defense to shine. Winning the turnover battle could be the deciding factor, especially against a young and untested Chiefs lineup. The second one is control field position and time of possession. Even if the offense struggles, every drive needs to at least gain a few first downs. Pinning the Chiefs deep forces them to play a longer field, giving Denver's defense a chance to create pressure. And the last one is start strong and put the game away early. Convert red zone opportunities into touchdowns, not field goals. Build an early lead and force Kansas City to play from behind. The Chiefs likely won't push hard to mount a comeback if they're down by 2 or more scores, given that this game doesn't impact their postseason. Interestingly, this season, Denver has thrived when they have started strong. 8 of their 9 wins have been by 9 or more points. The Broncos' formula for success often involves building momentum early and maintaining it throughout the game. In contrast, Kansas City has been involved in several close one-score games. This difference in style makes it even more critical for Denver to set the tone early. If the Broncos can establish dominance in the first half, it's unlikely that Kansas City will make a concerted effort to claw back. With backups at key positions, the Chiefs will likely keep things simple, focusing on evaluating talent rather than pushing for a win. That said, for many young Kansas City players, this is their chance to impress. They'll be giving it their all, making it crucial for Denver's starters to stay disciplined. Avoiding unforced errors like penalties or mental mistakes will be essential. For Denver, this game is also a chance to showcase quarterback Bo Nix, who has surpassed expectations this season with over 30 total touchdowns. His growth has been a key storyline for the Broncos and will be critical as they prepare for a potential playoff run. If Denver secures a win here and advances to face Buffalo, it sets up a fascinating scenario where they could meet Kansas City again in the postseason. So, do you think the Denver Broncos can capitalize on this win-and-in opportunity and handle the pressure, or will the Chiefs' young players pose a bigger challenge than expected? Share your thoughts in the comment section.